witness stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you may give in the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
You may be seated. Please state your name for the record. Spell your first and last names.
Robert Russell, Robert Russell.
Good morning, Mr. Russell. Let me provide you with some introductory comments that I give to every witness in every case. The first, please sit back and relax. The second, please speak in a loud voice so we can hear you. The third, if you're called upon to provide a yes or no answer to a question, use those terms rather than slang, which can be confusing. And lastly, please wait until you hear an entire question before you even start to answer it. In our daily lives, many of us speak over each other, but in a courtroom, we need to hear a whole question first before answering. Is that all okay?
Yes, sir.
Thanks. Direct. Ms. Brazil.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning, Mr. Russell.
Good morning, Ms. Brazil.
What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm National Sales Manager for an electrical distribution firm.
And what city and state do you live in?
Las Vegas, Nevada.
Were you living in Las Vegas in 2009?
Yes, ma'am.
And in March of 2009, did you have an emergency health situation that required you to go to an emergency room?
Yes.
What was the nature of your health problem?
I had heart trouble, a heart attack specifically.
Emergency room at Spring Valley Hospital in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And when you were in the emergency room, did you have a meeting or a consultation with Dr. Conrad Murray?
Yes.
Do you see Dr. Murray in the courtroom today?
I do.
Would you please describe for the court the color clothing that he's wearing today?
Dark suit, green tie.
Indicating Dr. Murray, the defendant.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Russell, describe the first interactions that you had with Dr. Murray when you were in the emergency room at Spring Valley Hospital.
Dr. Murray reviewed what had happened and what the emergency room physicians had done with me at that point, and scheduled to do a procedure to install or input stents later that evening.
So you went to the emergency room and those physicians stabilized your condition?
Yes, ma'am.
And then at some point after you were stabilized, you had your consultation with Dr. Murray, who indicated that you needed to have some repair to your heart. Do I have that right so far?
Yes, ma'am.
Was Dr. Murray the only physician that you consulted with in addition to the emergency room ER doctors?
Yes.
Had you been a patient of Dr. Murray's prior to this, or was this your first meeting with him there in the emergency room?
My first meeting.
So Dr. Murray advises you that you need to have surgery, and is that immediate surgery that you need?
It was later that evening, 4 or 5 hours after the consultation.
Describe for us how you were prepared for surgery.
I went from the emergency room to a surgical room where a team of technicians prepared me for the surgery.
That would include Dr. Murray?
No, the team prepared me, and then when it was time for the procedure, Dr. Murray came in. And
focusing on the team that prepared you, would that be nurses?
I believe so, yes.
Did you also meet with an anesthesiologist prior to your surgical procedure?
There was an anesthesiologist present. I don't believe that I spoke with the anesthesiologist at all.
During your procedure, did you receive general anesthesia? Were you out?
I was out.
And was your general anesthesia performed by an anesthesiologist during your surgical procedure? Was there anything unusual that occurred during the procedure that you're aware of?
Well, I'm aware that they woke me up during the procedure. Evidently, I had been given by the hospital staff too much medication to lower my blood pressure, and my blood pressure had flatlined or something of that nature.
You told us that you were awakened during your surgery, correct?
Yes.
Did you speak with Dr. Murray or some of the other individuals in the operating room when you were awakened from your sedation?
Yes, I did.
And Dr. Murray spoke to you?
Yes.
What did he say to you?
Here's your heart, stay awake, showing it to me on the screen, And I said, man, I don't want to see that.
I'm sorry, the last part again,
I
please?
said, I don't want to see that. To the best of my recollection, I wasn't excited about watching. I was more concerned about the staff who told me that I would get through the procedure and, it would be done.
Let me ask you a question, sir. So the staff in the emergency room during the surgical procedure, they were reassuring you when you awoken?
They were kind of jokesters.
Okay, let me stop you for a second, Mr. Russell. My question is focusing on the period of time when you were awakened during your surgery and Dr. Murray said to you, do you want to look at your heart on the monitor, and you looked away. Do I have that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Your surgery was completed. What did Dr. Murray do for you during that surgical
He
procedure?
installed 3 stents.
So you come out of surgery and everything's fine to your knowledge, correct?
To my knowledge, yes, ma'am.
Now, are you released from the hospital right after your surgery, or do you remain for a recuperative period?
I remained for a recuperative period.
How did you feel about staying in the hospital for some time after that stent operation?
I asked Dr. Murray to release me that night, and he said he would not, and I stated, I'll just get my clothes and leave. And
Let me stop you for a second. You wanted to put your clothes on and you wanted to leave the hospital, correct?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
And what was Dr. Murray's response to you when you told him you wanted to leave?
Dr. Murray was quite stern with me, advised me that I was minutes from death, and that if I didn't follow his direction and his treatment, that I was assured of being a dead man. Got my attention.
Were you released from the hospital around March 12th, 2009?
Thereabouts.
And during,
Approximately.
excuse me?
Approximately.
During the periodic checkups that Dr. Murray gave you during your recuperative period in the hospital, did you make appointments to have follow-up care provided by Dr. Murray?
Yes.
Sometime around March 16th or so, second week in March, did you go to Dr. Murray's office for your first follow-up visit?
Yes.
Dr. Murray's office was located in Las Vegas.
Yes.
When you met with Dr. Murray at his Las Vegas office, did he advise you that you needed to have a second procedure involving stents?
Yes.
Did he describe for you why that was necessary?
Yes.
And what did he say?
Because of the issues that had happened during my initial procedure, he did not get to the artery around the backside of my heart and had felt that there could be an issue there and thought that it would need stents.
So he wanted to follow up and complete the repairs to your heart, correct?
Yes.
At this point in time, are you feeling as if you're being treated medically very well by Dr. Murray?
Absolutely.
Procedure. Did you have a conversation with Dr. Murray regarding any other employment that he might soon be engaged in?
Yes.
What did Dr. Murray say to you in that regard?
He had expressed that he had an opportunity that was overseas and caring for one patient only.
And what did you say in response to that? Was there a discussion about that topic?
Yes, and first I asked I hope it's Western Europe, and he confirmed it was, and I believe that he told me it was Great Britain, and I of course it's got to be royalty, or
Why did you think that, sir?
Well, one person, taking care of one person, and my thought from a business standpoint, and I said, how great is that? Get rid of employees, no malpractice insurance in the U.S., sell your practice, hire other doctors to take care of it, and go take care of one person. What an opportunity. I mean, I was excited for him.
And did he seem excited as well?
Yeah.
And did he reveal to you who the person was, or did you just leave it at it was one person?
Just left it was one person at that time.
Or consultation in Dr. Murray's office, do you make the appointment for this second stent procedure that he recommended you have?
Yes.
Did that procedure occur on April 6th of 2009?
Yes.
Did that procedure take place in the hospital?
Yes.
The same hospital where you had your first
No.
procedure, or a different
No, a
hospital?
different hospital.
And what was the second hospital?
Desert Springs, I believe. Desert name.
I'm sorry, sir?
Desert Springs or Desert Inn, I'm not sure.
I understand. Now, this second procedure was also for stent placement, correct?
Yes.
Did you check into the hospital and go into an operating room in the same manner that you did for your first procedure, or was it a different circumstance?
Well, no, it was a different circumstance as it was scheduled. It was more on an outpatient basis. I did check in. I went through the same procedure where I was taken into a surgical room. Technicians, nurses prepped me for the surgery, anesthesiologist, in a like procedure.
Were you instructed the night before regarding any special instructions you were supposed to follow, such as do not drink any liquids or do not eat anything prior to your procedure the next day?
Yes, ma'am.
And you were completely sedated for this procedure the second time, just as you were for the first procedure?
Yes, to the best of my knowledge. I think I was given the opportunity to be under a local.
I understand. Mr. Russell, did an anesthesiologist perform the sedation for the second procedure just as an anesthesiologist performed the sedation for your first procedure?
Yes.
Who performed that second stent procedure, correct?
Yes. Yes.
In addition to Dr. Murray, were there also other medical personnel involved in prepping you for that second procedure?
Yes.
Did you go home the same day or shortly thereafter this second procedure?
Yes.
Did you also have scheduled follow-up visits to meet again with Dr. Murray at his office for follow-up care?
Yes.
Did you in fact go to Dr. Murray's office and meet with him for follow-up after that second procedure?
Yes.
And during this follow-up visit, did Dr. Murray reveal additional information to you regarding this opportunity for him to treat one patient in out of the country location?
Yes.
What did Dr. Murray say to you?
He had expressed that he had made the decision that he was going to proceed with caring for that one patient, and at that time revealed that it was Michael Jackson that he would care for. He further stated that he had not broken the news to his staff. My wife was present, and he asked us to remain silent about it, and he was going to break the news to him after that.
The last part.
And he was going to let his staff know after we had departed.
Thank you.
So Dr. Murray tells you that it's Michael Jackson who is the patient that he is going to assume care for, correct?
Yes.
And you said that your wife was present with you when Dr. Murray revealed that Michael Jackson was the patient?
Yes.
When Dr. Murray revealed this information to you, did he reveal any information about Michael Jackson's children and any relationship that Dr. Murray may have with them?
He had just discussed the fact that he had known the family and had cared for them for a period of time. To the best of my knowledge, that was a couple of years. That this wasn't something out of the blue. There had been an ongoing relationship.
So he was conveying to you that the opportunity to act as Michael Jackson's physician was something that he had a history of doing, correct?
Yes.
What was your reaction when Dr. Murray revealed to you in the presence of your wife that he was going to be Michael Jackson's personal physician?
We were overjoyed. I mean, it was a kind of a joyous occasion. I mean, it was giddy.
What was Dr. Murray's reaction, as best you could tell, when he was conveying this information to you?
Highly excited, pleased, looking forward, as I think anyone would under like circumstances.
You told us that Dr. Murray said to you to keep this secret because he hadn't revealed it to his staff yet, correct?
At that point.
During this follow-up to your second stent procedure, did Dr. Murray advise you that you needed additional treatment beyond those surgical operations?
Yes, ma'am.
What did he advise you that you needed for follow-up treatment?
EECP, which is external electro counterpulsation
Dr. Murray discussed that course of therapy with you?
Yes, ma'am.
What did that therapy entail on your part?
That therapy entailed being tested or electrocardiogram prior to going through the procedure. It was a series of visiting his office for an hour at a time for a period of over 7 weeks, and essentially put like large blood pressure cups on my extremities, legs, all the way up to my buttocks, and the blood pressure cups would contract in conjunction or opposite of my heart, forcing blood back into my heart. And how he explained it to me was it was like a year or 2 years of marathon training to prevent my heart from growing, exercising it, and then at the end of that time I would be retested and we would review those results.
Did Dr. Murray convey to you that these sessions were important to your full recovery?
Yes.
And these sessions were on a daily basis, 5 days a week?
Yes, ma'am.
For a period of 1 hour?
Yes, ma'am.
And when approximately did those sessions begin? Did you, in fact, go to Dr. Murray's office on a daily basis and participate in the therapy that he had described for you?
Daily, yes.
I'm sorry,
Daily, yes.
Your Honor, would the witness move the microphone just a little bit closer to him? I'm having trouble with some of his...
I am as well. If you can scoot up, Mr. Russell. You don't have to
Yes.
speak right on top of the mic, but if you could speak just a little louder, I think it'll help all of us. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome.
So you go to Dr. Murray's office, located in Las Vegas, on a daily basis for this therapy for an hour, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you see Dr. Murray when you go to the office on a daily basis to receive this therapy that he had prescribed for you?
Occasionally, typically not.
Who is it then that assisted you in this important therapy that Dr. Murray advised that you needed?
Dr. Murray had a trained staff. 3 or 4 different individuals had been trained in taking care of other patients with this procedure.
I understand. Now, were these males or females?
Females.
Were they registered nurses?
I can't answer that. I don't know.
Did Dr. Murray advise you that it wouldn't be him who would be caring for you during this process, but it would be someone from his office?
Yes.
Now, you told us that there were times that you didn't see Dr. Murray, and if you had a follow-up question, were you put in communication with Dr. Murray during the time that you had these sessions?
There were occasions that I waited to speak to him. I might have had a question. I recall leaving a question with his staff and Dr. Murray personally calling me at home and covering the questions, which I found very unusual that he would.
How did you feel when Dr. Murray called you at home to follow up when you had a question? You feel pretty good about that?
I felt like I was getting the best care in the world, honestly.
In fact, at this point, you're feeling Dr. Murray saved your life, correct?
Absolutely.
So you complete the approximately 7 weeks of daily treatments at Dr. Murray's office, correct?
Yes.
Everything's going fine?
Yes.
Would it be early June, first week or so in June, that you complete your treatments?
Approximately.
Did you have a follow-up appointment scheduled on June 15th at Dr. Murray's office?
Yes.
What was the purpose of this meeting with Dr. Murray once you completed the EECP therapy?
This was to get the results of what happened with the EECP, to get a referral. You know, if he didn't have someone hired for his staff, a referral on to another cardiologist for continued care.
And would the referral be necessary because of the information that Dr. Murray revealed to you, of course, that he would be leaving his practice to become the personal physician for Mr. Michael Jackson?
Yes.
The follow-up appointment was designed to provide you with information such as, was this therapy successful? How had your heart improved? Did you need additional procedures and so forth? Is that accurate?
Yes.
Was this follow-up follow-up meeting important to you in terms of your health and your comfort level about your heart?
Yes.
Did Dr. Murray keep that appointment with you on June 15th of 2009?
No.
Did someone notify you that the appointment was canceled?
Phoned my home, notified my wife.
Your Honor, I have